What is up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another episode, another rendition of the Everything Medicare Podcast, and I hope you had a absolutely fantastic 4th of July. God bless America. I had a great day, spent it with my family, with my wife and my baby daughter. We had a great time. We got to see fireworks. We went to go to an aquarium. I posted a video about it on my Facebook page, the Christian Brindle fan page, so go check that out if you haven't already. What can I say? Today's Saturday. Let's get at it. We're doing another podcast. So real quick, wanted to give you some announcements. Next week, we're going to be doing 2 interview episodes with 2 very special people. We're going to be doing an interview on Monday. That's the plan. It's got rescheduled once or twice, so we'll see if it still happens. But next Monday, we're going to be doing an interview with Tina Davis. She works for Regents Blue Cross Blue Shield of Utah. I think it's going to be a fascinating conversation. We're going to talk a lot about Blue Cross, and this is the first time we're going to be interviewing someone that works for a particular company. And she's going to be able to share a lot of insight about Blue Cross. And it doesn't just affect people in Utah. This is going to be information for Blue Crosses all over the place, especially the ones connected to Regents, which are several states. So that'll be exciting. And then on Wednesday, I'm going to be interviewing via phone Cody Askins. Cody is an insurance celebrity, really, a Medicare celebrity, a person that, has been very, very successful as an agent. He's helped and worked with a lot of people, and he's helped and worked with a lot of agents. His accomplishments are numerous, and he's probably one of the 5 to 10 most well-known people in the insurance industry today. So that's really, really exciting, and I can't wait to be able to have a conversation with him. I think it's going to be fascinating. I'm interviewing him on Wednesday. The podcast will air on Saturday because we air episodes on Mondays and Saturdays. So I hope that you guys really enjoy those episodes. This will be the first episode. Well, this will be the last episode for at least until not next week, but the week after because of these interviews, where you're just going to be getting an episode from me, a regular type of content where I'm just basically riffing about a certain topic. Some people like those more than the interviews, but we seem to get more responses when we do the interviews. I think that's just because we haven't done a whole lot of them. We've done interviews with Ken Halbu, who's one of my closest personal friends, who's also a very smart insurance professional like myself. Interviewed my dad, which I thought was a really great conversation, who was someone that taught me so much coming up in the insurance industry. We interviewed Craig Sharp, who was another one of my early personal mentors with Sharp Insurance. We interviewed Justin Brock a couple weeks ago, who's, again, a very, very well-known Medicare expert who has one of the biggest agencies that's worked with a lot of people in various different places. And so, we're going to be adding these interviews to my library and our library starting next week. So basically, folks, today we're talking about MSA plans. What does that mean? Well, an MSA plan is a medical savings account. I haven't done episodes about them because these plans aren't available everywhere, for one. They're not like pretty much everywhere in the country we're going to have Medicaps, Medicare supplements. Got to do a lot of content about that. Most places we're going to have Medicare Advantage plans. Got to do a lot of content about that. MSA plans, they're kind of just here or there. We've had them in various places. I can talk specifically about my market. We had them in the past here in Utah. They didn't stick around. Now we have them that have come back. And I'm not going to specifically mention the name of the company that has them kind of jumping up all over the place because I try to stay away from talking about specific insurance companies. But basically what an MSA plan is it is something that you need to know about first and foremost because they are popping up. You're starting to see more of them. And I think depending on your situation, some people may or may not like them. Now, they're not going to work exactly like this in every state. The benefits are probably going to vary based on your location and based on where you're listening to this from. But an MSA plan works something like this. First of all, an MSA plan is kind of similar to an HSA a little bit. An HSA is a health savings account, but they're not really the same thing. MSA plans are types of Medicare Advantage plans. Let's get that out of the way. They're a type of a Medicare Advantage plan. So instead of an HMO, a PPO, a POS, an HMO is a health maintenance organization. A PPO is a preferred provider organization. There are different types of Medicare Advantage networks and other types of plans too, but Medicare Advantage plans typically have one of the two. Sometimes they're a POS, which stands for a point of service. Basically, it has a lot to do with how easily you can go in and out of the network. Now, I'm going to talk about MSAs as a whole as far as how they work in general. MSA plans, unlike a lot of Medicare Advantage plans, now this isn't the case for all Medicare Advantage plans because some Medicare Advantage plans don't come with prescription coverage, but a majority of them typically do. MSA plans do not come with prescription drug coverage. This is getting kind of interesting. They're very unique plans. I think my personal opinion is for an MSA plan, I think it has to be a very specific person with a very specific set of needs for an MSA plan to really be the best available fit. I'll be the first to say that, but they don't come with prescription drug coverage. So if you want prescription drug coverage, you have to get it through an individual Part D plan. The same kind of plan that goes with a Medicare supplement. Now, you can't pick those up with any other type of Medicare Advantage plan. You can't because they will disenroll each other. But with an MSA, it's just a different type of animal altogether. It is a type of Medicare Advantage plan, but it's the type of Medicare Advantage plan that if you want the drug coverage, you typically have to pick it up through Part D plan, and you can have them both at the same time. Okay? So that is something that makes them very unique right then and there. MSA plans work something like this. They have a deductible. Okay? Depending on where you are, it could be $5,000, it could be $6,000, it could be $7,000. It just depends on where you are. I don't even know the numbers as far as the maximum they can be, so forgive me on that. I just don't work with them all that much, and I'll rant about that plenty in segment 2. But they have this deductible. Then, typically what happens is the plan, meaning the insurance company, has an account they set up for you. That would be which would be kind of equivalent to an HSA account kind of thing. They will deposit anywhere between maybe $2,000 to $3,000 into that account. Okay. Now, the way this works is you're able to use that account for basically anything that would be medical related. In a lot of cases, you can use it for dental even and that kind of stuff. Here's the thing. You're going to be paying completely out of pocket with this account money. So if you spend more, if you use up all the money in the course of the calendar year, let's say your deductible's $6,000, okay, for the sake of example. Let's say the plan gives you $2,000. Let's say you have health problems and you burn through that $2,000 really quickly, which is easy to do, I might have you. Then you pay 100% of the bills out of pocket from the time you reach that $2,000 all the way to the $6,000. And then once you reach that $6,000, the plan will pay 100% of everything for the rest of the year. That's typically why they work. They work something like that. Now, how do networks factor into these? Well, they're kind of like Medicare supplements. They don't have networks. As long as the provider will accept original Medicare, they will also accept your MSA. I mean, assuming that they recognize it and they know that. I mean, the plan will work with any provider that will work with them that accepts original Medicare, and their fee schedule works with original Medicare Part A and B. So these plans are kind of strange. I think so. They might not like me saying that, but they're a little strange. Sorry, I think that they are. And I think that, well, I'll save it for segment 2 on what I think, as far as who would be a good fit for an MSA. I think that a lot of times you're probably better off with a Medicare freaking Advantage plan, a regular one, a traditional type one, an HMO, a PPO, that type of plan. And I'll share why in segment 2. Stay with me after a quick word from this week's sponsor. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for sticking with me in episode 71 of the Everything Medicare Podcast. What is today? July 6th, 2 days after July 4th. Hope you had a wonderful holiday. And today we're talking about MSA plans. MSAs stand for Medical Savings Accounts. There's certain types of Medicare Advantage plans that are very unique in and of itself. They kind of work a lot like an MSA account, and they're available in various different locations. I don't think they're available in every part of the country. I could be wrong there. I don't work in every state as of now. That will change. Guarantee it. So I kind of talked about the characteristics of an MSA plan in segment 1. And to summarize, you get a deposit of money. You can use it for a lot of various things, but it has to be a medical cost. But they're probably going to let you use it for a lot of things that, original Medicare wouldn't cover, like dental and that kind of stuff. But you get whatever they give you, $2,000, $3,000, whatever it is, they deposit that in. You can burn through it really fast if you have any type of significant health issues. And then you have a deductible of $5,000, $6,000, somewhere in there. I don't know. It kind of depends on your area. Some could have lower deductibles than others as far as locations. But you're going to have this deductible to where if you use up the money they give you in this account, then you're responsible for paying everything until you hit your deductible, and then they pay everything for the rest of the year. Okay? Now, they don't cover drug coverage. You have to pick up a Part D plan, which is very different from any other type of Medicare Advantage plan because you can't be on both with a Medicare Advantage plan, with any other type. But you can with an MSA. In fact, if you want drug coverage, that's the only way to get it, unless you have some type of employer plan. That's a different story altogether, or if you have VA or TRICARE, whatever. But basically, that's what you're looking at, an MSA plan. They don't really have networks. You can go anywhere as long as original Medicare takes it first. Now, who is a good candidate for one of these? Well, I think if you do have VA, I think that's a good candidate. Because, especially if you get your coverage through the VA, depending on how the VA works in your location. In Utah anyway, you have to go to the VA facilities unless you're on VA disability, which typically, if you don't live close by, that's an inconvenience. But if you don't mind using their facilities, if you have VA coverage, and you get pretty much all your care there, you get your prescriptions through the VA, an MSA plan's great, in my opinion, because you could pick it up, use that $2,000 or $3,000 for various charges like, dental or whatever. You don't have to use it for medical. And it's a great fit. Someone has TRICARE. I think that's a good fit, potentially. Because TRICARE is probably going to limit your dental and that kind of stuff. I think any plan where you can lean on something else to really take care of you for your medical coverage, and you can have the MSA on the side, I think is a good option. VA is probably the best candidate. Or another good candidate might be if you're incredibly healthy and you don't go to the doctor much, there might be a good candidate for that too. But maybe not so much if you want the drug coverage, which I always recommend people have drug coverage, because if you don't, you're going to get penalized from the government. I've done tons of episodes about this. I'm not going to go into this. Go back and listen to some of our earlier episodes if you want to know. I just can't talk about everything on every podcast. I just don't have the time to do that. And you guys don't have the time to listen, to those of you who have listened to us from the beginning, since episode 1. But I always recommend having credible drug coverage. So there's always that issue. You have to pick up a separate drug plan and pay a premium for it. Whereas if you picked up a $0 premium Medicare Advantage plan, if it's available in your area, you get it included in most cases. So I think a lot of times a regular Medicare Advantage plan is going to be a better fit. I think the MSAs are just kind of strange, my personal opinion. But it does have its place, and there are people where it fits. Now, Can MSAs change how they work and how they operate going forward? Yes, they can. So if you're listening to this in 2023 and the MSA is completely different from what I'm describing, it's because things can change from year to year. As the information changes, I reserve the right to change my opinion. If the information changes, I'll change my opinion. That's always been my stance. But as of right now, I think it has to be a really unique situation for it to be the best available fit for somebody. That is my personal opinion for the MSAs I've worked with. Now, there might be different MSAs in different areas that are a little better benefit-wise than what I'm describing. But most of the ones I've seen work something like this. This is what we're looking at. There's some issues there. I feel, if I was on Medicare. But as the information changes, I'll change my opinion. And MSAs can always get better. There's been so many plans and so many insurance companies as a whole that started out with plans that kind of left something to be desired, and they just improved and improved and improved, and they funded the plan, and they just really became a monster of a plan. And an MSA could become something like that going forward. You just don't really know. You never know what's going to happen. I don't, and guess what? No one else does either. I don't give a crap what they say. Nobody knows what's going to happen in 2 or 3 years in the marketplace. You have to kind of roll with the punches. I probably will know things before you will, but I don't know things 3, 4, 5 years out, and neither does anybody else. They're full of it if they're trying to convince you that they do, because I got a newsflash for you. Even the insurance companies don't know what they're going to do that far out. They just don't. Folks, stay with me into segment 3 after one final word from this week's sponsor. Welcome back, folks. Thanks for sticking with me on another episode of the Everything Medicare Podcast. I just want to say, folks, that to anybody that might be listening, on these podcasts, I am always going to speak my mind and share my opinion and tell the truth about how I feel about something in my perspective. Me being an expert in the industry, me being an author of Medicare books, books about Medicare, I mean, me working with as many people as I've worked with, me growing up around the insurance industry, me knowing so many people that are in the industry in high places, me just being plugged in and connected and working with this stuff on an everyday basis like I do, I'm always going to tell the truth on this podcast. And there's a lot of people that don't like what I do on here. There's a lot of people that feel threatened by what I do on here. And there's a lot of people that I feel are probably gunning for me and gunning for my organization because of what we do on this podcast. There's a lot of people out there that don't want you to know the truth. And I don't want to get all conspiracy theory, tinfoil hat kind of on you, but I think there's a lot of truth in that. I think there's a lot of people in the insurance industry that they benefit from you staying in the dark because you'll stay on their plans. You'll stay with them. You'll let them kind of manipulate you into getting what they want you to get. And I don't let that happen. I don't do that to my customers and my clients or people that I work with. I don't do that. I tell the truth. I'm always looking out for the best interest of the people I'm working with. And when I'm talking about this stuff, I'm always going to be authentic and real about it. But me putting this information out there really threatens the people that don't want to do it that way, that want to keep you in the dark so much, that they want you to only know what they tell you. So they have the power. They hold the cards. There's a lot of people like that. And I've been criticized before. I've been criticized because they say that I when I do my podcasts, when we do episodes, when we do bring you content, I spend a lot of time just bashing people over the head. people in the industry. I'd never say any names. I'm not that dumb. But there's a lot of people that feel threatened by the content we put out there because I'm just pulling the sheet off. I'm pulling the covers off, letting you see everything. I'm exposing exactly how everything works, verbatim. And it hurts people that make things up or they twist things to kind of fit their narrative. I hear things all the time that people say that, they were told by a professional or an agent, quote unquote, that they're just ludicrous. If I was a vengeful person and I decided to turn them in for it, they would be in big trouble. I'm not that type of person. I'm just going to tell the truth. I'm going to be authentic, period. And I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to be bullied or intimidated by people that are threatened by what we're doing here. I'm going to keep bringing you content. You make it possible for me to keep bringing you content, and I thank you for it. Because without your support, our message would not get delivered to as many people that it gets delivered to. So thank you so much for that. We're on a mission here to change this industry, to make something that where the information is not available. What a concept. We're doing that. We're going to continue to do that. We've also been making a lot of videos on YouTube. So go check them out. Christian Brindle. Look for my emoji face for our logo. That's how you find the channel. Or you can head to our Facebook page, Christian Brindle, or Christian Brindle Insurance Services, either way. Both pages will have links and posts about the YouTube videos where you can find it. If you're anything like me, I love learning about things through video when I'm learning something new. So that's why we're creating these videos. I think they really go over a lot of important things. And go check them out. My goal is to put out so much information that when you Google this stuff, you can actually learn what you want to know. Instead of just finding someone's landing page where you fill out some information and you think you're going to get rates or quotes or information, but you just get a page saying thank you, someone will be calling you, and then you get bombarded by phone calls for the next 3 years. That's not the way that it should be. I'm trying to change how things are done. And you listening helps us do that. Thank you so much for that. Folks, if you're on Medicare or about to be on Medicare, whatever your situation is, if you'd like some free information, if you'd like a consultation, if you'd like to talk to me directly, I work with people that live in Utah, where my office is, Florida and Idaho. Those are the three states at the moment my company is licensed to do business in. We're going to be adding new states coming soon, so stay tuned for that. But as of right now, those are the three states we work with people in. If you'd like to talk with me, no obligation, no consultation, no obligation for a consultation, no price at all. Call my office at 801-255-5340, 801-255-5340, Christian Brindle Insurance Services, and let's have a conversation. I'd be happy to talk with you. If you live in one of the other 47 states and you'd just like to get more information from me, I wrote a book for people just like you that can guide you on through making a good decision. Whether you're trying to make sure what you have now is the best thing for you, whether you're new to Medicare and you're just trying to make the best decision the first time around, this book can help you. It's 50 pages. It's easy to read. It's got no fluff. It's got a page on everything you need to know. It's a guidebook. It's called Medicare Guidance, Picking the Plan for You. I wrote it. I update it every single year so the information is not out of date. Go pick it up on Amazon. Medicare Guidance, Picking the Plan for You, or you can search Christian Brindle. It's a beautiful red book with a Medicare card in the front. You can't miss it. It's $5.50 right now on Amazon. For that price, we're practically giving it away. It might cost you $10 with shipping and handling. For $10, you can make a decision you can make a decision to educate yourself on your choices. And this decision could potentially save you hundreds, thousands, maybe even tens of thousands of dollars over the years in premiums, claims, making sure things are covered, prescription costs, you name it. You can save yourself a whole lot of heartache and financial headache by making a $10 investment in your education. Because that's what it is, folks. You need to be educated on your decisions. Thank you so much for listening. And next week, I'll be bringing you those 2 episodes. And then the following week, I will be bringing you a regular type of podcast like we do now. As always, thank you. If you'd like to support what we're doing here, if the platform you're listening to us on allows you to leave a review, please help us out. Leave us a 5-star review. It helps us reach more people. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful weekend. I'll be talking to you again on Monday.